Hello everyone, this is Robyn and welcome to my Coffee Cafe online class video. If this is your first class with me, welcome. I'm so excited that you signed up for your first class. I hope you have the best experience ever. If you're one of my returning class members, welcome back. I'm so glad that you joined me again. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into this. If you are new, my class videos are just a little bit different than my regular videos online. I like to make you feel as if you're in my home with me, doing the class with me. So there's not a lot of editing involved unless it's absolutely necessary. Okay, so I'm going to start with telling you what you should have received in your class package from me. You should have received the Coffee Cafe stamp set and the coffee cups framelits. You should have received these cute little embellishments. They are called corrugated elements, and then the linen thread. And then some of you added on the early espresso and the garden green ink pads. You will need these in this class. And then this is the class packet. This has all of the materials to make the cards in the class. And I will go ahead and open it up. This is how I open it up, just with the scissors at the end, very carefully. Some of you might have ink pads or ink refills in your package, so please be careful when you're opening them. And then I open it this way. Okay, that keeps them nice and protected. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up here. And you will have a piece of chipboard at the bottom. And if you're one of my regular class members, you will not have the chipboard up at the top. This is just for my team packets because they just get the packets in there with their class. So if you're curious about all the benefits of joining my team of pink stampers, you can email me or message me. I'd love to share that with you. Okay, so you have, in this class, we'll have 6 Whisper White envelopes, and you can decorate these, stamp them up so they coordinate with your cards from the class. And then everything I have organized on top of each other. Be careful when you are separating these. There are 2 small 1/2-inch punches, and they are in every single package. I went double checked, triple checked everybody's package. They're in there. Just be careful because they kind of like to slide out if you're holding it up. So if you've opened it already in your craft room and you don't see these, check on your floor, check around your table, because they should be there on there. So these are 1/2-inch Whisper White. Okay, at the very bottom of your class packet, just right above your chipboard, if you want to pull out, this is your class supply list. This has everything that was used to make these cards, including the sizes that I used on the cardstock and any of the accessories or tools that I used in case you'd like to reorder them for your own personal use. Okay, set that aside. All right, so I think we'll go ahead and start right with the top card for this one. So I'm going to tell you what you should have. You should have 2 pieces of the early espresso cardstock. You will have 2 of the Whisper White quarter sheets. You'll have 2 of the soft sky. And then you will have 1 of this with the different coffee cups. You're going to be cutting these out by hand. And then you will have 2 of the strips of the designer paper and 2 of the circles. And you'll have 2 pieces of ribbon, so just set one aside and you can set it aside. You guys can do this one later, or you can do it at the same time as this one. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take just some scissors and we'll go ahead and cut our ribbon in half now. We're going to be using this on both of these on this one card. And this one here, so you'll have different cups and the coffee cups and mugs and everything like that. You'll need 1 big one, and then so you have enough to cut. You just need 3 for each of them. So this one, for example, I have enough for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you really only need 6. So I'm just going to pick some to cut for this one. And I'll just kind of cut around it first. And then, so I want this one for 1. And then I'm just going to use these two over here since they're already right there. And you guys can pick which ones you want for yours. And then I'll set this aside for the other card. And then I'm just going to quickly just hand cut these, and you can leave a little white around the edge if you want. We're going to be putting these on the white stitched circles. So the white will kind of just blend in. So I'm just going to hand cut this. All right. And so there's one. And these are big pieces, so they're pretty easy to hand cut. And you get so many. So when you get the pack of the Designer Series paper, you get 2 full sheets of just the different mugs, and so you can cut out as many as you want. All right. There's 2. And almost done here. You will need the corrugated, I can't say that word, I'm so sorry. Corrugated elements for this card. And we're going to grab a heart. So go ahead and grab the heart. You will also need adhesive. In this class, I'm using the snail adhesive, and you'll also need the dimensionals. These are the Stampin' Dimensionals to pop it up. Okay, so what are we going to do first? Let's go ahead and do our stamping first. So for this one, we're just going to be using the Early Espresso ink pad. And the stamp that I'm using for this one is Happiness is a Cup of Coffee Shared with a Friend. All right. I'm going to put that one on one of our clear acrylic blocks. Ink that up. It's really important when you're inking that you don't get any ink on your block so it doesn't transfer over. Okay. Make sure I have that all on there. And I'm going to stamp this kind of up here a little bit over to the right. Oops, I'm going to flip it over. Okay, these are our photopolymers, so they don't have a foam underneath it. So it's, if you'd like to get the solid image, you can stamp it on top of something like a pad of paper, or this is what I like to do. Stamp it, and I just lift it up and kind of just rub it. And you're going to see, now I have the solid image from doing that. All right, so now we can start putting this together. Set that aside. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take our strip of our patterned paper, put a little adhesive on it, and I'm just going to put it right here on the left side. And now I'm going to take some of our ribbon here, and I'm going to pull it like this, and I'm going to use just some regular, I call this the kitchen tape, just regular tape. Just really holds it in place, which you need for this cheater method. Okay, while it is upside down, I'm gonna go ahead and put some adhesive on the back. And I will add this, oops, I need to fold this over. I'm a little bit messy here for a second. Let's fold over our piece of Early Espresso cardstock. I have all of the sizes on the supply sheet. So again, if you're new, there's not going to be any text on my screen. Okay, so we add this right on here. Perfect. And now let's take our white circle and let's add these on. So what I'm going to do is with this one, I'm just going to have it be flat. With the big one, I want the big element just to kind of blend in. And then with each of these, I'm going to take a Stampin' Dimensional, put one on the back, and then now I'm going to kind of just place them on here on the circle. Perfect, like that. And now let's go ahead and take one of our elements. We're going to take a heart for this one. And I'm going to take a dimensional also and place it on the back. And I'm just going to put that right under where it says friend. And let's take some more dimensionals. So this size stitched circle, I just usually use 3. Put those on there. I didn't feel it come off. There we go. All right, so this one's going to go kind of down here. And now we're going to take this ribbon here, put this ribbon through here, and you can just tie a little bow, a little knot. I usually just do a square knot. And just run it through, and I want it to kind of be a light one, so I'm not going to make it really super tight. And then I'm just going to use my paper snips to snip it off so it's a little bit closer, not so long. There we go. And now, because I get this question a lot, what do I do? This is a dark color cardstock, so that's where this comes in. I have a 1/4 cut down of our Whisper White, and that way you can write on the inside. You can also stamp it so it matches when they open the card. So there is one from this class. Hope you guys like it. Okay, so let's move on to our second card design. All right, we're ready for card number 2. So we will take this next one. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, this one will have the soft sky base. So separate those two and then set this one aside. This is the one that you want next. So you're going to have 2 pieces of the soft sky, 1 sheet of the Whisper White, and I had that right on top of there. And then you need 2 of the polka dotted Pear Pizzazz, and then 2 of this piece of the designer paper, and then 2 of the espresso strips, 1 dot on each. They're really small, don't lose them. And then 1 of the pool party. So let me set this aside here. Okay, so this is what you need. So we are going to be using the Big Shot on this, and we're also going to be using some framelits. So let me show you the framelits. We're using the large cup. We are also using the foam top right here, or you can use whipped cream. There's so many different things you can use this set for. I don't drink coffee, so I'll be using it for spiced cider, hot chocolate, frozen drinks, and fun things like that for my friends and family. Okay, also, we're going to use this one here. It's the same shape as this, but it has the texture on it, which is super gorgeous and beautiful. And the stamping we're going to be using, we're using the Early Espresso, and we're using the Garden Green on this. The stamps that we'll be using for this, let me go ahead and set this aside. We are using the little circle, so we will need that for stamping. So you're going to need some clear stamping blocks, and you are going to use one of the smallest ones you have, and we're using the stamp that says hi, hello, hi. It's just really small. So we're using the stamp that says hi. We're going to be using the foam, and we're also using the large cup. Okay, so I'll put those down there. We grab the foam, it's ready, and then the large cup is ready. All right, we're going to be stamping. We'll set those aside. We're not going to be stamping on our soft sky. I think I keep calling it the wrong color. We're going to stamp the Early Espresso in the little circle that says hi. See how close I can get at my weird angle right here? I think I did okay. All right, I did good. So I stamped my hi. And now I'm also going to, now I gave you guys extra, hope you didn't see my face in that. I'm using extra Whisper White. So you're just going to be stamping the cup. You'll use 1 cup for each, and then you're also going to be using 1 of the foam top, but we're going to stamp off, so you need a background paper for that. We just want it to be a little bit lighter and frothier. So we have it just so it looks like a lighter shade of the espresso. And then that's all we need that color for. Now we're going to pull out, the stamp we're pulling out next is the little heart in here. So just grab, there's 2 little hearts. We're going to grab the one that has the texture on it. And now we're going to pull out this here. And this has the polka dots. We're just going to stamp hearts and the polka dots. And where we're going to stamp is kind of up here on one of these because the other ones are going to be covered. So we're going to stamp one up there. I'm going to stamp one kind of over here. The middle part will be covered a little bit, so you can kind of just stamp them where you want. This one might be covered up. And I'm going to put one down here. Okay, so it's just sporadic on there. And now the next thing we're going to do is pull out the Big Shot and let's start doing the Big Shot work here. Okay, so for the Big Shot, we're only using these 3 dies. And if you want to cut this in half, we can probably get all of them on at the same time. So I gave you guys extra of the Soft Sky. You really only need a little bit of it. And then I gave you plenty of extra Whisper White, which we only need this much of it. But the great thing about it is we can line these all up. And then I'm going to line this one up here as best as I can. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this on here. Doesn't have to be lined up. All right. Put this on here and then just push it down so they don't move. And run it through. Okay. Yeah, that wants to stay on there. All right, and these do as well. Okay, pop that off. And now we have our cup and we have the froth. And then we also have this cute little corrugated cup holder, and set the rest aside. Okay, now that we can start putting this together, what we're going to do, which is really fun with this strip of our early espresso, is we're going to make our own little banner, which you can just cut in directly about 1/4 inch in the center. Just make a quick little snip, and then from your one corner, line it up with that snip, and then you can flip it over and just line it up again, and you have your own little banner, your little tiny little banner, which is nice to do if you're using just little smaller sizes that maybe don't work with our banner punch, or larger sizes, and then flip it over. There we go. We have a cute little banner. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to take our linen thread, and we also are going to take one of our corrugated shapes. We're going to take the little tag. So grab the tag and have that out and ready. Okay, now with our linen thread, go ahead and open your package. And we're going to wrap this around. If you want to add a little piece of tape on the back, it might make it a little bit easier. Not that piece, but a little tiny piece. Kind of line it up on the back. And you can simply wrap it around. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap it around without getting all bendy. Just be very gentle when you do it. I'm going to wrap it around 3 times without getting all bendy. Just kind of, there we go. Oops. Get that out of the way. And then if you also want to just grab a tiny little, even a glue dot, let me grab a glue dot, that might work. I'm going to give you guys different options. You can grab a tiny little glue dot with your finger, maybe put the glue dot here, and then you might be able to just wrap this here and then push it. That way it just kind of stays on this side. And set that aside. We're going to add it on in just a little bit. Oops. My kids have been using my snips. They're all sticky. All right, set that aside. Now let's go ahead and put this together. So what I'm doing with this one is on this side, I'm just going to add just a strip of adhesive and then flip it over, line it up so that's sticking out, and just add it on with your adhesive like that. And now we're going to take some of our Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just going to add a couple on the back of this cup holder. And put that right on here. Isn't that fun? And now, actually I think I should have waited on that a little bit. Okay, so we're going to take this here. Let me punch that out. Just punch out that little hole. And we're going to take some of our, let's go ahead and take the little circle with the high, and a dimensional will fit right on the back of this. It's like perfect size for it. Take your dimensional off, and then we're going to stick the high right here. Hi! And now let's take some of our linen thread, and I'm going to take a pretty good size chunk right here, or length, and I'm just going to run it through the hole. And I'm just going to add, tie it in a double knot. Doesn't really, this does not have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be even. So I'm just kind of using it on one end, one side, and then I'm gonna double knot it, just to be sure. Run it through, okay, have it be in the front. Now I'm going to cut that piece off, so it's just really short right here. Okay, and now I'm going to take a dimensional again, put dimensional on the back of this tag, and then I'm going to add that right here on my cup. And then we can kind of just wrap this around here. I'm going to have it be kind of where, did you kind of see where that was? Just where there's a little spot, you can just kind of wrap it around. Let me grab my scissors, cut off the excess, and then we have this here, okay? Isn't that super cute? All right, now it's time to put all of it together, make it a beautiful card. We're gonna fold over our piece of soft sky cardstock, and I'm going to take this piece of Pool Party. Now this was dry embossed through the Big Shot with our embossing folder. I have the item number for you on our supply sheet. Anytime you dry emboss on paper, you probably should put the adhesive on all four sides. That way when you stick it down, it's nice and flat and it's not so wiggly. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take our piece of our Designer Series paper, and we're going to put this up about this far. See, it will cover up one of the hearts. Don't worry. No worries about that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this piece here, and you can just put adhesive all across the bottom. And this is going to be kind of at the bottom here. Like this. Cute. And now we're going to add some of our Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'll probably use 5. I'm going to use 1 up here at the top, and then 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay? Makes it super easy to do. Anybody can do this. If you're new to my online classes, I hope you are having a great time. I absolutely love doing them for you guys. Okay, so this can go here. And if you would like to add maybe a tie with your twine, you could add an extra tie here if you want. I think let's do that. I'm going to do, we have a little, this twine, you comes with so much thread, linen thread. I'm going to add it like this. Let me add it under through here if I can. I can. Okay, and then I'm just going to do one little knot. I have a double piece, so it's kind of folded in half, but I'm going to cut it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to pull it through here, pull it tight like that, and then I'm just going to cut with scissors. That just gives me a little bonus, little tie on there. Okay, so there is card number 2 for you guys. Yay! All right, we have one more to go. So let's pull out our last. Now remember, you guys are making 2 of each of these, and I'm just only making 1 in the video, just so it goes a little bit faster. Okay, so our last card here, we're going to be separating. You'll have 2 pieces of the Garden Green, 1 piece of the Whisper White half sheet, 2 pieces of the Whisper White, 2 pieces of the embossed piece of crumb cake cardstock, and you're going to have 1 piece of the Pear Pizzazz, and you will have 1 piece of the Designer Series paper right here, 1 piece of the crumb cake this size, and you're going to have 2 strips. So I hope that makes sense. The only thing that you have 2 items of are these 4 pieces here, Garden Green, Whisper White, crumb cake, and then this Early Espresso Designer Series paper. We are going to be using the Early Espresso ink pad on this card here, and then we're also using, out of the elements, we're using one of the ovals. Well, you'll use 1 on each card. So go ahead and grab your oval piece. Now the cuts that you're going to be using are the die cuts. You're going to be using the small cup along with the lid, and you're also going to be using this oval here, and the one that looks like, this one actually works with the 3 beans. We're going to be using the 3 coffee beans. All right, so the stamping we're going to be doing, we're going to be using Thanks a Latte. So you can pull out your Thanks a Latte and get it on a block if you'd like. We're also using the 3 beans, and that's it, I believe, for this one. Okay, and the 3 beans. So let me get my Early Espresso ink out. We can go ahead and stamp. So let's set this piece aside, this part, and then we can also, we're not stamping on these 2 as well, so we can set those aside, and this one we're not stamping on. Okay, so really all we need for this one, is part of our Whisper White. So we're just going to use 2 small pieces, 2 small areas on your Whisper White for the stamping. And then you're using this for the cups as well, but you'll have plenty of paper. So let's go ahead. For each card, you're going to be stamping the beans and cutting them out 3 times each. So I'm just going to do 3, but you guys will be doing 6 total. So you have plenty of the crumb cake cardstock. And now you're going to be stamping Thanks a Latte. You're doing 1 for each. I'm going to stamp that right here. Thanks a Latte, okay. And now we're going to be going through the Big Shot, and through the Big Shot, let's go ahead and I'm going to cut this piece in half so I can use it for both pieces, for more than 1 cut at a time. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for my other card. Okay, now for this one. For each one, you're going to be cutting the cup twice, 1, 2, and then you're cutting the lid twice, okay, for each cup, for each card. And then we're going to be cutting around this with that one. And then we're going to do the beans 3 times. I'm sure I can get the beans through as well. Let's see. Okay. All right, and then we're also going to be making cuts with this, in the Big Shot. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, pull out your Big Shot. And I will go ahead and get these ready to go. So Thanks a Latte. Actually, I'm just going to do the white first, and then we'll do the beans in a minute. Okay. Flip these around so the cutting part is face down. All right. I'm gonna run that through once. Okay, now I don't need this die anymore. I just have my Thanks a Latte, set that aside. And now I'm going to do these one more time because you'll need it twice for each card. And if you'll notice, you just have plenty of room on here. Run this through. Okay. And then now, set those aside. Now we're going to be doing the beans. At the same time, we can also do the other cut. So let's line up one of the beans here. And then these can go on top of each other because they're going to be the same exact cut. But remember, you need, I gave you extra of the Pear Pizzazz. This one you're going to need to do one for each card. So make sure you leave plenty of room for that. And that's going to be this piece right here. I'm going to put that down here. I want my grain to go that way. Okay, run it through. So this one will have cut both of them at the same time. Set that aside and put that for my next card. Okay, now I'm going to cut the beans 2 more times. All right. And then one more cut. And then we've done all of our die cutting and all of our stamping for this class. And we can just put the last card together. Woohoo! Okay. Set this all aside here. Okay. Now bring this over here, and what we're going to do, let's go ahead and put our cups together first over here. So what we're going to do is these ones are going to go on the top. So what I'm going to do is just use my glue dots, or you can use just a fine tip glue pen or a little adhesive on the edge. I'm just going to put like 3 glue dots for each of them, because they're just going to go right on the top of this. Oops, like that. Okay, so we have 1. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Okay. Now I'm going to take these cup holders, or they're, what are they? They keep the cup cool, right? So you don't burn yourself. We're going to add 2 on each of these, just like we did one of the, or the last card that we made. Okay. We're going to put 1 on each of these here. There we go. And there we go. Now it's time. Let's go ahead and also add a little adhesive to our oval that we stamped. We're going to put that right on the corrugated, I'm going to say that over and over, corrugated. And then let's go ahead and add some dimensionals on the back of this one as well. Okay. And we're going to add that on this one here. Thanks a latte. Okay, it's time to start putting this card together. Let's fold our piece of garden green cardstock in half. Okay, now we're going to add our piece of Whisper White. Just use your adhesive. And this one is cut a little bit smaller, so you have a nice thick border. Now we're going to take our piece of crumb cake that we've used the wood planks embossing folder on. Make sure you put your adhesive on all 4 sides. And this one's going to be angled like this. So what I do is I kind of have the corners are kind of lining up with the edges of it. And now we're going to take our piece of, that's nice, our piece of the designer paper and kind of have it, I have it going the same angle as I do my crumb cake. And now we can take some dimensionals. And the first one, actually, this one here, I'm going to have it be flat. So go ahead and add some of your adhesive. I'm gonna put it right here. And then this one I want to be popped up a little bit. So I'm going to add some dimensionals, 4 dimensionals to this one. Okay. All right, and then this one I'm going to have it go to the side like this, kind of overlap it a little bit so you can still see the designer series paper. Now I'm just going to take some glue dots and add these beans on here. And so I have my glue dots. Here we go. I'm going to put a bean on the back of, just in the middle, I'm sorry, a bean. I'm going to just put a glue dot on. You can put them wherever you want. If you want to make more, you guys have plenty of the crumb cake paper that I gave you guys, cardstock. Okay, so there is card number 3 that you guys made. Let me show you the other 2 cards that we made in this class. And you got to make 2 of each of these, and you can stamp up and coordinate with your Whisper White envelopes. I hope you guys enjoyed your Coffee Cafe online class. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks again for signing up, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.